Coach, we'll take an opening statement on being here and the season ahead, and then we'll open up for some questions.
Awesome, thank you. Good to see everybody. Morning. After top of the day. Good to be here. Good to be representing our institution, our city. Appreciate the opportunity that our president, Brad Carson, and Rick Dixon, our AD, has given us to lead our team. Appreciate our staff. We've been able to get together, and we can have a very positive transition. And everybody's got the buzzwords and all that, but have done it a while. I've seen some good things, like the way our guys have went through, like the way our coaches have went through, kind of implementing our standard, our environment, what we're trying to be about. And again, thought we had a very, very productive winter, spring. Recruiting's been pretty positive. We've got a great product to sell. Got a lot of work to do, but a lot of great buy-in, and been very, very encouraged, very pleased. A couple tremendous players here with us. Got a lot of appreciation and respect for what our guys go through, the work that they're doing, and the commitment. There's a lot of dynamics in college football get talked about, but I think we're at a great spot, great place, and kind of like where our team is and the opportunities we have. Also say appreciate you guys. I know we're in a day and age where there's a lot of kickback with looks like staffing and downsizing and opportunities, and so I appreciate what you guys do for our game. Now, trust me, I'm a new coaching staff, so I don't like open practices because I mean, trust me, if college coaches were doing some stuff for the CIA, we could solve some things quicker because we got some great intel and some great insight, and we can skunk some things pretty good. So, you know, as coaches, we like to keep things kind of quiet to the vest. But, again, I really appreciate the work you men and women do promoting our game. It's a great sport. I think it's a great time. And so I'm excited to be here and looking forward to what I think is going to be a positive season for our program.
Thank you, Coach. We'll open up for questions. First, to the far left.
Coach, Carter Yates with Dave Campbell's Texas Football. At Ohio State, you had an opportunity to mentor C.J. Stroud and Justin Fields, and I know it's really early in his career, but right now, Braylon Braxton, like what stands out to you about him and maybe that he could become a star in college?
Yeah, well, and again, we got a lot of water to go over that dam because it's a developmental sport, developmental position. And hopefully what I think he's got tremendous intelligence. I think he's a great character kid. He's a local guy from over here in Frisco from I think Independence High School. And, you know, his family, his dad's background's pretty strong in our sport. But he's been a pretty good sponge, you know, and I think just learning the process of how to like to get coached and take practicing. You know, I know some of the conversations that Justin Fields and C.J. Stroud and those guys had are conversations that we've had with quarterbacks about, you know, back in the day at Oklahoma with Sam Bradford. Like, now look, here's how we need to play this position and lead our team and the commitment and the work that it takes. But the talent's there. I think there's some intrinsic values, though, of just intelligence and work ethic that he's a sponge that has a high ceiling. And we'll see as we go if we can get our footwork intact and get on target. You know, sometimes in practice in the 7-on-7 bird world, we play in a sterile world, and it's not a sterile game. I think he's got the ability to make a little chicken salad when it's not always the best piece of chicken out there, you know. And so I'm excited to see him play, and as we get playing, and hopefully again if he'll take care of the football, and that'll be critical and utmost. And then if we can get our players around him, we're going to be a quarterback-friendly program. We're going to be an O-line friendly program. That's my background. And but I think he sets up to be a great player, not just in our league, but I think he's a tremendous young college talent. I think he's going to be a great player.
Hi, Kristen Click. My question is, I know obviously this affects a lot of teams. You guys were affected by transfer portal, losing players, picking up players. Tell me a little bit about how that's going to affect you guys this year.
Yeah, you know, our first meeting when I got in, of course, we, you know, transition typically, you know, it takes a little time to get a coach in. So when the day I was hired, I was brought in, went directly to a meeting. And I remember the first meeting, I said, hey, everybody take a deep breath. Everybody sit up a second, press pause. You know, you're here for a reason. There was a change for a reason. Now I'm here. Maybe we should work together. I still think we're a developmental sport, developmental program, developmental game. And I think the best way to develop is to get kids that appreciate coming to work and love where they're at. Because one thing, you know, college football is awesome. And also there's some days that just flat out suck, stink, hard. It's not going my way. Hey, welcome. It's called life too now. And so, you know, I just want to get our guys to just let me get to know you. I think what this day and age has forced you to do as coaches, it forces you to work to be better, getting to know your players, communicating with your players and families, and getting on the same page with those guys. So We came in, the whole month of December, I did not recruit. I was either at Ohio State for practices on the weekend, or I came back, I was meeting one-on-one with our team. Had a couple workouts to watch them run so I could gauge our talent level. We lost a few guys to the portal, and that's unfortunate. But we brought some in. I think we ended up bringing in 13 portal guys. We signed 16 high schools. So we didn't do a mass deal, and we did not one time tell someone he needed to look or go to the portal. We said, hey, now you got to get stronger, or better, or you got to do a better job going to school and getting your grades up, whatever, get your body weight right. We communicated where a guy might be lacking or things he needed to work on. But portal's a part of it, but, a lot of coaches talk about it, but at our level, I mean, if you want to leave because you're not having success, I get it. If you're going to leave, I just sometimes wonder, I see the guys that are going in. When I was at Ohio State, how many of those guys really walked in and played? Sometimes they're coming in, they're becoming good backups. And we've had 2 first-round draft picks prior to me getting there with previous coaching staff. Those kids stayed there and developed. So we just worked hard to get to know the guys, embrace what's about. And I thought we managed a coaching change in this day and age of portal cleaner and more positive than I thought it would be. And these 2 guys I brought down here with us, they were both in the portal and decided to come back. And we didn't make promises like, yeah, we think we're going to put a great staff around you. We're going to work like heck. It's a great school, great city, and we'll work like heck to be a great team.
Yeah, Brett Vito, Denton Record Chronicle. The conference commissioner has made quite a few statements over the course of the offseason about how the American and its new lineup will continue to be one of the more powerful leagues in the country, a league that's deserving of being in the same conversation as the Power 5 leagues. How do you think that this league will be able to live up to that? And does that put any pressure on you guys as coaches heading into the season?
Well, I don't know about pressure, but my observations are, first of all, I think our league has quality teams, quality coaches, and players. We're all in regions where there's athletes for sure. I think we're in regions where you can recruit guys. Some guys that develop late get missed. I think we're in regions where we're going to get bounce back and portal guys that maybe can bring some talent. So I think our league has talented players. And all that. I was very impressed when I met the coaches and the commissioner and the support staff of the conference in our meetings this end of May, early June, and I was impressed where I thought the conference had a little bit of camaraderie and fight for each other. I've been in meetings where every time one coach said something, the other school had to have a rebuttal. And then another school had that because everybody was trying to one-up each other. I think this conference is built on guys trying to help themselves. And thinking, we're going to play non-conference. We're all going to play some great teams. You got to beat some of those guys. You saw the success that Tulane had last year and had the opportunity to not only get to a New Year's Day 6 bowl, but then win it. You got to have success when you play those guys. So we're all going to play the bigger league per se teams. We need to have success. We need to find ways to win those games. And then when we get opportunities to be bowl teams, we need to do that. But I've been very impressed with the coaches, very impressed with the leadership, and what I think our conference has a little bit of chip on its shoulder, but I think our conference and our coaches within our conference promote the conference. And that's, to me, was very enlightening and very encouraging.
Trey Smith, College Game Time. Coach, this is not your first rodeo as a head coach, so I'm just curious how much of that prior experience just carries over into this new journey for you? What's changed? What's stayed the same since your last stint as a head coach at the Division I level?
Well, I think, one, just my background, played for a phenomenal high school coach, passed away Coach Tom Brown at Maiden High School. Had a great high school experience, had some great college coaches, working for Randy Walker and Bob Stoops, and now after the Indiana experience, Urban Meyer, Ryan Day. So you take a little bit of those guys, and so I'm a little different from just seeing some things that Coach Day or Coach Meyer's done, or a different way of formatting a practice or a staff scenario or putting it together that maybe, okay, that's neat. I never looked at it that way, and I'm not trying to do everything that happens there doesn't work at our place because, again, resources or et cetera. I think the real thing, though, I think, my belief on how the game's played hasn't changed. My standard of blocking and tackling and taking care of the ball and taking care of the quarterback and touchdowns, none of that's changed. But what's changed with the portal and is you have to communicate with the players. And it takes, Coach Meyer had a big thing, it takes 4 letters, TIME. You have to spend time and get to know your players, and in this day and age, they're all talking to someone. So you better make sure those parents are on the same page. Like, listen, he's struggling. If we have a kid struggling going to class, we call the parents, make sure the parents know. So we're not complaining with the kid. And then the other thing, I thought we did a great job of. When we came in, we worked hard, slowly, to teach them what our standard or environment needed to be. We had the team vote for leaders. We picked 12 leaders. And I basically communicated to 12 guys. Sometimes I wouldn't even communicate to the position coaches. I would hit my 12 leaders and say, the workout tomorrow starts at 7 a.m. Get the guys there dressed. Hey, some guys are making body weights. Make sure your guys make body weight tomorrow. And so we started doing a lot more player-led stuff. So I think second time around, much better job of, I think, working, trying to get to know the players, communicating with the players, leaning on your top players, and then having your top players be some of the messengers, because sometimes the message needs to be direct, and sometimes that can be negative. In my world, the more I can find myself being positive in front of the team, it carries more clout than being a guy that's always got the negative side of the statement coming.
Coach James Sinkley, T. Whitewright's son. You were at Northwestern with Randy Walker before you went to before you went to Oklahoma and brought your shotgun running game there. Just want to ask you, when you come in and you take a new job like at Tulsa and you have and there's a scandal like there was at Northwestern, does that, you mentioned your 12 leaders that you elect on the team, does that make you sit down the leaders to ensure that this new culture that you're establishing, that you also review any traditions they have to make sure that you're still taking care of the players and nothing toxic from a previous regime is continued?
Yeah, and again, I don't know previous regime like what some of our, and again, sometimes those players, though, they're used to this is the way things were done. When we did introduce our freshmen, when they showed up in June, the first thing we did say is, or after we introduced them, I said, now listen, now hazing's not, we don't shave heads, we're not standard, they're freshmen, they'll eat last, they'll be the last guys to get jersey numbers. Like, you know, we don't anoint them, they're gonna earn, we have a thing called meritocracy, you'll earn and get certain things. We're not going to anoint freshmen. Matter of fact, I don't, no disrespect to media, I don't like freshmen talking to media till they play. Once you play, you're in the right to talk to somebody. When you're not a high school player, you're a college guy. You want your players talking to guys. But I did share with those guys early, and then after the news came out, I was back in late July, and I said, now again, I had said this earlier. Now we have no issues, no hazing. Now if there's any, we need to know immediately because that is non-negotiable. But 3 or 4 major non-negotiables, and as always, that's an unfortunate situation, but. Is what it is.
Thank you so much for your time, Coach.
All right, guys, all the best.